why this is happening.
Dr. Sambit Patra joins us, National Spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Dr. Patra, first of all, your quick reaction to the results that we are seeing. Results only in the sense that I think that in Gujarat it's not going to change much. So it's safe to say that these results will, or these trends will hold and they will crystallize into these results. But Himachal remaining tight, what's your overall take? What's your overall take?
See, first, I would say these are trendsetters, as far as Indian politics is concerned, this is a trendsetter because rightly, just before joining you were discussing as to how in the Indian polity, this is a case study. Despite being in power for 27 years in Gujarat, yet again repeating itself, and this kind of majority that we are seeing is something which is phenomenal, which is humongous. And this does not happen for no reason. This happens because of performance. And I always maintain that, remember, when we talk about the PM just does not mean Prime Minister. PM means pasina and mehnat. Just imagine, I was there in Gujarat and I was flabbergasted. I was observing the Prime Minister at this age, the kind of hard work that he has put in, the pasina and the mehnat that he has put in. It was almost akin to as if he was a booth level karyakarta. Despite the fact that there are other leaders in other political parties who claim themselves to be youth leader, we did not see youth leaders campaigning, but we saw our Prime Minister campaigning day in and day out. This is a trendsetter in Indian politics that you have to perform, and despite the performance, you have to campaign, you have to work hard. Pasina bahana padega. This hard work in Indian politics is the new trendsetter. As far as Himachal is concerned, I would say it's not an easy task in Himachal to retain your government, because remember, Rivaj. In Uttarakhand and Himachal, the Rivaj is every 5 years the government has to change. That is the trend. But despite that, BJP doing so well, and I'm confident that by the time everything settles down in the evening, I firmly believe that we will form the government in Himachal as well. Let's wait, because the margins in Himachal are very less. There are seats in which we are sliding by 7 votes. There are certain seats in which Congress is ahead by only 100 votes. So I believe we have to let things settle there for a while, and then the outcome would be clear.
Okay, so the big claim that, and look, a large number of journalists who are analyzing elections in some other studios, in Latyan's studios, etc., are saying that, look, the BJP should not become overly confident about what has happened in Gujarat. It's basically their B team, which is the AAP, that is working very hard to undermine the Congress. And a large number of Congress leaders are also saying this. We have lost to the AAP, we have not lost to the BJP. How do you respond to this, that you are working in tandem with X force or Y force? Someone will say the AIMM also was engaged, is that the other? How do you respond to those journalists? Because if you look at Gujarat, you have increased your vote share by 7%. You've increased your seat share. You haven't lost a seat to the so-called Kejriwal model, Aam Aadmi Party, except for maybe one seat where, for another bunch of factors which we'll get into later with Jai Mrug, there has been a loss there from the BJP's kitty to the AAP kitty. But apart from that, you haven't. So how do you respond to this charge that is being made constantly against the BJP, that it hunts with the AAP hound and runs with then obviously the hair of the AAP where it is required?
See, I believe that we should not even respond to these kind of queries which have been put by, quote-unquote, the Latvians journalist. Because, well, they have to criticize Mr. Modi, they have to criticize politics based on performance, and they have been doing that since, I would say, time immemorial. Right from the very beginning, they have been doing this. And I don't understand. These very journalists who say that probably Aam Aadmi Party is the B team of BJP in Gujarat, but these very journalists stand firmly with the Aam Aadmi Party when it's a discussion about Delhi. So I don't think we have to respond to them. Remember one thing, it is about the time period over which BJP has shown its dominance in Indian politics by performance. A huge time period, 27 years plus adding 5 more years. So if the Aam Aadmi Party has to showcase itself, it's on the scale of the time. It cannot be on 1, 2 or 3 performances. It has to be on a scale of time, whether they would be able to retain their performance in Delhi, which which they claim to be a kind of model in itself. And I should compliment Anand Ranganathan, who is present over here. He said that the only last model from Delhi was Neha Dupia and no one else. So I firmly believe this model of Aam Aadmi Party carries no wind with it. And over time, we would be able to know whether really there is a model of Aam Aadmi Party or not. A team, B team, I don't have to respond to them because...
Okay. Let me bring in Dr. Arshdeep Muni
this is some kind of game which always will continue. AIM is a...